Maybe it was that late movie or those long nights up with the baby. Somehow, somewhere along the line, you started losing sleep. And now you're fighting to stay awake at the wheel. Sleepy drivers cause at least 100,000 accidents each year in this country. Tonight, you'll see just how easily it can happen in our national Dateline driving test. Put yourself in the passenger seat and hold on. Once again, here's Dennis Murphy.
Yes!
What is the deal with these accident-prone drivers? Drunks? Nope. Too little sleep.
So that's a performance when someone has been awake for 31 hours.
Yeah. We're still out at GM's Desert Proving Ground, and sleep expert Dr. Nelson Powell is carefully watching another round of volunteer drivers. Not drunks this time, but some very tired people behind the wheel. And you're a passenger.
It's going to be a rough crowd.
Our 8 volunteers are groggy and cranky. We've kept 4 of them up all night, and they feel ratty. No surprise there.
You're up, kiddo.
But we asked the other 4 to do something that millions of us do all the time. Get less sleep than we should. In the week before the test, they had to make do with only 4 or 5 hours of sleep every night. How easily could this be you? Most of us are so used to getting by on less sleep than we need, we don't even think about it, much less realize what it's doing to us. By day 5, 2 long days before they have to hit the road, Natalie, like the others, is shot.
Feeling like I'm moving in slow motion, almost in a fog as each day progresses.
It's going to be an eye-opener for all of us.
The sleepy drivers have a test course a little longer than the one set out for the drunks. 2.6 miles with the addition of a long, monotonous highway-like loop. Like the volunteer drunks, the sleepies have driven their course before. When they were fully rested, they found the 30-minute drive so easy they were bored to tears.
Well, yeah, I mean, I could probably do it like with my eyes closed now if I had to.
Really?
Yeah.
But that was before they turned into sleepy zombies. We've kept the all-nighters up watching TV. And by 7 a.m., our 4 night owls are not looking forward to hitting the road. But here they go, with our cameras taking you along for the ride, and GM safety officer Brian Gargiulo riding silently in the passenger seat as a precaution. Gail has a new baby at home and is used to losing sleep. But this all-nighter is too much for her. She turns into robo-driver, her heavy head leaning back again and again.
I wanted to close my eyes. I really did.
And she's not the only one. This is Anthony at the wheel, a professional truck driver.
He told us last week he could do this blindfolded.
Not likely. Just as in the drunk driver's course, this one now has a few surprises. Here, a carefully camouflaged GM worker quickly hides our stuffed dog behind some brush, then crouches in waiting, ready to yank it across the road on a piece of string. Watch what happens. Anthony isn't paying attention, and the dog gets nailed. But that's not all. Check out our face cam. It catches our trucker actually driving with his eyes closed more than once.
This would be a nightmare driving over the road. After hitting the dog, be like, okay, stop, take a break. You're too tired to drive, because that could have been a kid that I never saw.
And take a look at Janine. Her eyes are barely open. This is scary. She really is more asleep than awake, closing those eyes so many times, it's hard to keep count. So out of it, that after a desperate 22-minute struggle, she just gives up.
What happened? You brought it in early?
Yeah, I'm feeling kind of car sick and lightheaded, and in real life I probably would have pulled over a while ago.
What about Andrew, the last of our all-nighters? He's cool, thinking like a commuter. A quick 30-minute drive, a route he knows, no big deal.
I drive much more safely when I know that I'm tired.
Even after he's been up for 31 hours straight.
Were those eyes open, Andrew?
Absolutely. Just resting my back. Yeah.
He's still talking piece of cake.
Let's do it. Bring it on.
Expectations?
I don't think it'll be that difficult.
But in the car, it's obvious right away that the guy who was so convinced he could pull this off is in trouble.
I thought he was going to have plenty of time to stop.
Andrew squashes the ball flat. He's startled for a moment, and then slips right back into his expressionless haze. He hits our dog, too, with no attempt to evade it. When it's all over, Andrew collapses, all too happy the clock has run out.
It just wore on me towards the end. There was adrenaline at the beginning, and it wasn't that bad, but at the end, I wanted to pull over and take a nap.
So our 4 volunteers who pulled all-nighters drove just about as badly as they felt. And maybe that's no surprise. But how's our second group going to do? Now remember, they've been scraping by with 2 to 3 hours less sleep every night for the past week. A lot of people do that, and for weeks on end at a time. Is that regular loss of sleep going to show up here in performance at the track? And what will our cameras show us? Chris is the first of our sleep-deprived drivers. He's gotten only 5 hours of sleep a night. And we know he didn't cheat because, like the rest of his group, he's been wearing this ultra-smart watch all week that tracks his body movements. But he has a strategy. He thinks he can stay awake by talking to himself.
Yes! Sweet! That's what I'm talking about. Excellent.
Only in the final 7 minutes of his drive does Chris finally stop chattering and begin slowly fading. Still, he holds up.
Woohoo! It seemed all right to me. I didn't kill anybody.
Jason starts out his spin like a stand-up comic, wired. But less than a minute into his drive, he's trying to shake off the Sandman. Here's the ball. Jason hits it, keeps going, and then creams it again.
It's dead. Oh my God, I killed it.
Take a look at Jason driving fully rested. Now, after getting only 5 hours of sleep a night, his eyelids droop. They want to close. Big yawns. A driver on the verge of falling asleep.
I just was driving. I didn't even pay attention to anything. I'm just like, okay, I'm going.
Sleepy. Yeah, feeling tired.
Natalie's been getting 4 hours of sleep a night, and she looks like she's in a stupor. She's on autopilot, hitting cone after cone without a hint of reaction. And she's got those scary 1,000-pound eyelids, too. Blink, blink. The blinks just keep on coming. Scientists even have a name for this state. It's called microsleep, and you don't want to be in it when you're driving. Remember, in Texas, that driver closed his eyes for only seconds and killed 6 people.
After I hit a few cones, all of a sudden I thought, uh-oh, I heard him, and I thought, okay, I got to stay awake, I got to do this. And, but I could tell that, it just kept going back into the wanting to sleep phase.
Last up, Victoria. Now, she's had a rough week. After 2 nights of sleep loss, she had a memory short circuit at work.
I couldn't remember the security code, and it's never happened before, and it's something that I just memorized.
By day 6, she's in a total haze, but her confidence isn't shaken. She still thinks driving will be a breeze.
Victoria? I honestly think I'll do good. I don't know. I just think I will, that's all.
Hardly. Just look. Gone is the alert focus driver we saw a week earlier. This time, Victoria wanders back and forth across the yellow line and into cone after cone, driving just like one of our drunk drivers. And watch this. She has plenty of time to see the pop-up car, but whew, that was breathtakingly close.
If she hit a curb like that, just clipped it, she could catch the wheel, turn the wheel, basically go over the curb, maybe lose control.
And there's this. Our face cam shows Victoria clearly reacting to our dog. But in the ozone of sleep deprivation, she's not sure it was there at all.
Did you see the dog? A dog run in front of you?
I think so. If it was gray, I thought it was my imagination.
Look at those eyes dip, huh?
I know.
Do you want to be her passenger?
No way.
A month after our big driving test, we met our sleep expert back at Stanford University to show him what even his observing eye couldn't see from the sidelines. The revealing tape caught by our car cameras.
If you put her on a long stretch of a highway for an hour driving, I'm absolutely sure she'd be in the ditch.
What Dr. Powell sees convinces him that even a few hours of sleep loss can make you too tired to drive. And what if our groggy volunteers had been driving at night, or not just for 30 minutes, but for a few hours?
I doubt that any of those subjects would have gotten through 2.5 hours worth of boring driving.
So they really would have been a menace to themselves and others.
Right. And yet that menace is on the highways daily, nightly.
As for our drunk drivers, he calls some of them downright frightening.
We remember Milton, don't we?
Oh, do we? And he's out there having fun and going to mow down the course. I mean, I think that's the alcohol.
But all along, Dr. Powell was doing more than just watching drivers out in the desert. He and his team were busy collecting data from the volunteers with these handheld devices that can clock reaction time right down to the millisecond. He compared the sleepies to the drunks, and now feels confident he can say with scientific certainty,
The sleepy drivers were the same as the drunk drivers.
So it is as dangerous to yourself and others to drive sleepy as it is to drive with clearly too much alcohol.
That's correct.